Okay, I'm back for a daily reading and using Old Faithful Tarot Dreams. Any of you who know me for a while, I used to use this deck all the time as my main deck, even though I got a bunch of other ones. Uh, just I fell in love with this deck when I first seen it. It had been a long time actually since I had bought cards. I bought a couple of Gilded Tarot decks, and they got messed up actually. And this is one that I really wanted. So actually, I think Michelle bought me this as a present, and I have beat this deck plumb to death. Either way, go ahead and get my daily reading, get it out of the way. Today's overall number I've got the Tower for 16, a 5 of Cups, and a 6 of Wands. So 16, 27 total. 2 plus 7 is 9. 27 is a number that strikes um, very strong with me. And this is something that'll definitely be significant. When number 27 comes up for me, it's always been there my entire life. Number 27 or 72, every number that's been a major good things for me. So, my crystal, yes, I keep this crystal with this deck. I've done uh, plenty of readings with this one. Anyway, a couple things I want to go over. I want to do my daily reading, and something I do want to go over that I just kind of kept my mouth shut and haven't mentioned is the reading of when the baby was going to be born. This was something that is extremely difficult. I really don't suggest things that you are personally really close with or emotionally attached to do readings for yourself. Go to another reader or so forth. Yet it was accurate. It was just the simple fact that I didn't. There was things that I was picking up, but I wasn't connecting. So uh, either way, that's something I want to go over. Anyway, 27, 2 plus 7 is 9. A day, again, about completions. Um, never a time when the nines are there to start anything new, because everything is finalizing, and basically it's coming to a culmination, coming to a head when the 9 shows up. Um, and the 9 also goes very well with this card right here, because this is a victory card coming back, basically something you went after, coming back for the goods, or with the goods. Good deal there. Because a lot of times the 9s will show up with some kind of public acclaim, or coming back, or ending up things that you've worked on or dealt with from starting from the 1 all the way up to the 9. So that's going to be the number of the day. First card I have, and I always do these facing me because I'm looking at the cards, is the 5 of Cups. This is the Regrets card. I also get it as the Crying Over Spilled Milk card. It's not always the case, though, because I have seen some cards regrets in very difficult situations that I really couldn't say that'd be crying over spilled milk. So this is somebody that's passed, and that somebody that's having regrets over things that they didn't say or do. So I can't really say that that's crying over spilled milk. I mean, I guess I can, because you know, after somebody passes, they still can be around and communicate, but most people don't see things that way. You know, they need them here in the physical. But anyway, a big thing with this card is of course worrying about things that really you can't change. It's done. It's over with. It's time to move on. Uh, Either whether it be a relationship or something that you've been involved in. There's a lot of self blames and, oh, it's my fault, blah blah, and sadness that goes on with this one. There's some kind of a loss or disappointment that you've ended up suffering, um, and well, sometimes you may feel when this one comes up that maybe you feel a bit abandoned or even betrayed by somebody. Um, but the whole thing always with this card is there's always 2 cups. You see, there's 2 cups right there behind her, and the light is shining on them, saying, hey, there's something left to be salvaged from this. Um, you're just right now focusing on the negativity and the difficulties of the broken cups that's in front of her here. So always a positive, no sense in feeling bitter or resentful and stuff like that, because there is still something left. Now, Tower has come up a lot for me lately, and today it's a central card, but it's come up reverse, and it's come up. I was thinking earlier when I first laid this out, I was thinking, okay, this card keeps coming up, and now it's flipped where it's coming up reversed all the time for me. With some, a lot of major changes. We've had a baby, um, a lot of different things going on in our life right now, and every time it keeps coming up, it's showing up reverse. I'm like, man, how many pieces do I have to pick up? But how many pieces are left that we need to pick up? But either way, again, this could be somebody else, and not personally just us. But anyway, this is reversed, and the Tower reversed for me because I do read reversals. I know there's some out there that don't read reversals, but it helps make things very, very clear for me personally. But this is a shock. There's a major shock that's happened, um, and honestly, that shock, I'm feeling it's a good thing, boy, because the fact that it's sitting beside the Six of Wands here, and just that lightning stands out, so that's a shock. And this light, for some reason, it seems to be like connecting on this light, almost like this light here is shining down and making the light on this card stand out from the top of his wand here. So that's saying that there's definitely something that's good that's going on with this. Uh, so that, there's some kind of trauma and difficulty that's over with, and you're probably going to be pretty shocked about it. The Tower can be a very good thing. I mean, you think about this. You think about a shock or a major life crisis or change. A lot of people try to see this as negative, and I used to for a long time, because I had some major issues that happened with Tower a long time ago when I started reading with tarot. But what if you go out and you win the lottery? Boom. That is going to be a major life crisis, a major life change, and definitely a shock. I mean, your whole world has changed. Anyway, this is saying basically something that has happened. There's some kind of trauma that is over with. The change has already went through. It's already happened. Maybe you haven't quite heard about it just yet, and that's um, why maybe it's sitting beside this right here. And maybe things could have been a little better, because it seems that with this girl here in this first card, she knows it's there, because her direction is kind of looking up here toward this, and knows this. But when this comes up, everything's changed. Nothing will ever be the same, and you're picking up the pieces so you can move on. Um, this, like I said, the really shocking or disruptive energy or influence. It's saying that it's coming to an end. Things are about to change. You're building yourself a new foundation, and basically picking up the pieces and starting new. The thing is, it's not complete, because the overall number for the day is a 9. So, but it is coming to an end. Now, the final card I have here would be the Six of Wands. I've always loved this card. The Six of Wands, and that's just simply because of the fact that it's wands, it's energy, of something that you put forth effort and went out and worked for, something that you went for, and you end up coming back with the goods. You come back with what you went for when this card shows up. It's always been one of my favorite cards of the deck because of that. It's like, it's an accomplishment with this card here. And also, maybe getting some kind of acclaim. And when the 6, a lot of times I pick that up because the 6 with me is associated a lot with family. You'll have, and I'm a very, honestly, a private person or a personal person, but I keep a lot to myself, and I don't have a whole lot of, you know, friends or anything that I deal with. I've just always been a private person. I think it's just a Scorpio thing. I'm a Scorpio, and I like my privacy. But when things do happen, it is connected with my family. So the number 6, your family could be standing up and cheering for you. one of those deals. Either way, it's also I get this is a work situation or some kind of situation because those wands are dealing with a work deal. It's saying there's a very strong likelihood and of success. There's some kind of triumph that you come out with an accomplishment when this card comes back. You're basically, if it's been a difficult situation, you're vindicated of maybe some false claims or anything like that. But anyway, there's a feeling of success. There's a feeling of self-assurance. When you're in that mode, say maybe when you were younger or something, you hit a home run or something like that. It's that good feeling of success. So this is a triumph and victory card. And also getting recognition for your work when this comes up. So that's going to be my reading for the day. Now, what I want to go to, and I've got to pull the cards out here, is the reading that I had done on the baby. I had some things come up last week that I was looking at, and if you'll, oh, yeah, I'm having a hard time getting them back in the box. But I had this deck tore down because I'm doing some work with it right now. Get it out of the bag. Now, okay, and it was cups, 10. The card that I'd pulled when we had the baby, or I'd ask when the baby would be born, and I kept thinking it was full moon and so forth. And this is what I was saying about being really close and emotional with something and trying to read for something, especially like, me having my first child. But it was accurate. I wasn't picking things up correctly. Now, I'd use this deck here, the Druidcraft, and this is the card that I pulled. And I kept seeing this as a moon in the back. And saying, okay, well, and you can't quite see it on the picture, I think, with the camera. There's a split that goes down through the card there. But this is the card I pulled, and I knew I had family that was coming down, and this was telling me this is also a reunion card. So I was saying, okay, he's going to be born when they come down, but I think it's going to be full moon. But the moon also represents mother for me, and something that kept jumping out over and over and over were the apples. You can see there's 3 apples on the table, and then there's dinner there, and people drinking. I'm thinking, well, that kind of don't make sense to me. Anyway, what happened, he was definitely born when they were here. They had actually stayed extra days waiting, and the night before the contractions and everything had started, and we had went to the store and got a bottle of wine. This is a card also of celebration and drink and so forth. And what did we happen to pick out? It never registered to me until I think it was earlier in this week. We had picked out apple wine. I kept saying over and over, those apples are so significant. I don't know what it is. Apple wine, and I kept getting a 3 people. We had bought apple wine, and 3 of us sat here after dinner and drank apple wine. And I kept thinking it was going from one night to the next. Well, everything had started, of course, on the 3rd. I mean, it wasn't until time had passed over into the next night, even though it wasn't full moon. That is when we ended up leaving and going to the hospital. But there is this strap there also, and the line was off a connection. And I was kind of joking with Michelle about the moon there, and I said, well, I keep saying there was a split right there. And I said, well, maybe this will be the day that my mother splits, when she splits to leave to go back home. Well, it happened to be the day they were going to leave, like at 2 o'clock the next day, and he was born at 2:14. So they actually got to be there where the baby was born. But that's what had come out. So, and I kept saying with her, well, maybe he's going to be born on the 3rd, because this is a 3. it started on the 3rd, but then it went all the way into the next day, and everything happened there. But it was just that apple wine was so significant. The three of us had sat around after dinner and had a glass of apple wine that we just bought from a local winery. We like their wine. So that's what happened with this card, and the trying to do the timing, and it's always, I find that with doing timing or doing trying to find objects and stuff, you have to really get into that picture and look at it, and slow down and listen to your intuition. Uh, a lot of times it's just too difficult to read for yourself in this emotional situation. I went ahead and gave it a shot anyway because I wanted to see it happen, or see what would happen, because it's always, hindsight's always 2020. Then I went back to it, and so that was the deal, and I want to just let everybody know how that went and how that worked out for me. I'm going to go ahead and get off here for the day, and everybody have a great day, and I'll see you later.